Coming in tracking line centers and high center interference and position location is all about understanding how to use your system. It's all levels of division. Now, there's a rotation spin cycle that needs to be line connecting. Position and track lines is really understand how to sequence patterns, how to understand the line communication string line. See the light signal? See that? See it goes around location? It's a spot channel light stream. Okay, so everything is identification. And like I said, you basically take control of everything through lights and signature patterns, pattern position, line connection, line systems, all levels of track locations. But you guys have to be, see that? See? See that there? See? See it? See how it moves around? So it's an indication where you're aware of everything through light. Point system, point system, point system. 4 track locations here, right? 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the side. Okay? So you have to use your peripherals in line set locations in high setting. See? You see it? So it's all levels of awareness. And that's what the avatar sees. See? See the light? How it's constantly in set location and motion, right? Going through high center interference, it's kind of like seeing things in slow motion, right? It's like, and then it goes, right? That's what I mean by slowing down your space. Just enough time to create the image that you want to understand what you're doing because your mind is going faster and faster and faster and faster. So the more you get in correlation of that set location line settings, everything becomes a lot more easier to understand location. Okay? So in track location line settings, we had to start class early today because I got to leave at 10 o'clock. So that's why I'm starting now. All right, so there's track location has emotional sensor. Now that sensor lines its communication line streams, directing lines of communication to its program location center. Now, in program set location line system, you come into the sun position attraction, right? Center track locations and 3 lines, set locations all system. Okay. 2x,000 lines of plateau line interference. Now this comes in the eye circle location settings. Eyes of the needle, the set position of track lines in position location of system. Okay. Center communication is really understand how to use the energy light streams. Now it gets extremely complicated because you're leaving 1800 lines and coming into 300 line rotations. So that's 3 lines. Remember, we go into 3100. Center location is 3 million line tracks. High set location in a circle line communication setting of track lines into sun codes, high center of interference line track location settings, inline communication of waving patterns, directing signal location centers. I'm doing a formula here. Box lines, triangulation line center interference, overtop sequence, pattern correlation setting of track lines, measuring line rotation interference, and travel communication setting to molecular structure location. Okay, very complicated stuff. All right, very complicated. So sun comes in line center indications. Now the sun indicates position of the program lines. High centers its travel communication setting and all level rotation surface and travel. Okay, extremely complicated. Setting track to its communication setting, the 2 line center locations. Low gravitation line streamers, sets location, telepathy waveline signals, sets lines into 2-line, force line, stream location, line centers, up position and travel, 3-line communication settings and triangulation reset position of programs, directing communication setting. Now 0-line operation surface sets position location of programs and aligning state location setting to a new flywheel direction time sequence location. Putting patterns, lines, and high calculation streamlines, platitude line streams in one panel and 4-line signals and in position of the eye of the central communications of all set location of the sun. Look how powerful that is. Boom. Setting position of track line is all about understanding how to serve its location near settings. Now this opens all levels of triangulation reset position of programs, setting correlations of track locations. Okay, it's amazing how you go through sunlight communication, all right? So take the team line center location, the rebellion lines. Now I'll allocate line stream interference and molecule structure and design location. Put them in the position locations in all levels. Eyes of Horus, timelines, time sequence times line, stream location sending and track lines. So inline rotation is send position location of point system at the top location. Center track line, center communications, right? Travel lines outline rotation surface in a 6-line stream, 6-line position, 6 activation, and 6 correlation. Line calculations tended to Merkabah and tesseract high position of travel, directing high position location line settings. Now, go into longitude, latitude, and streamline condition L-line shape. Line calculations tend into paragraph stream location as settings, blocking centers lines of interference, opens all signals, and position of command centers and block location and center generation stream locations. Generation line settings, high center interference, and position of panels. Opens up the high calculation setting to all positions of portals. Time sequence times lines, time calculation line stream, and position locations. All right. So, yeah, it's got 15 line settings and minutes and line calculation as seconds, minutes, and hours, and travel communication setting, and direct signal to the sun codes of high activation stream. Have fun. Okay, so set position of travel lines. We're going to set position location center interference. Come in position locations energetic graph lines. Remember this location, right? Position location line centers. Now in the line rotations, we bring in the XT1000s on 2 line cycles. Set position location north and east, and position location on south line. Sets track lines in a 3-line rotation. Travel line rotation surface, triangulation, reset position of programs. Direct and communication line settings. Open all signals to the sun code, sun line stream location, and 3-man line track location of center of operation. Done by equation. All right, so that's done through equation line settings. Then we come into platitude line rotation. Center lines, it's communication line calculations. Get into position locations, all levels of measure. Directors correlation line settings. So we're setting out sun graph code line routers. Setting lines of platforms and high line rotation surface. Now that triangulates the high side location in its division into 2 patterns of high calculation. All right, sets position location here into here, right here. Boom. All right. The I central line sets lines of communication, opens up the pattern line calculation setting to the cloud line, the cerebral cortex streamline, spires and wires, a high center of variance line position of travel communication setting to optical line rotations, and the primal cortex line setting line conditions all levels. Done by equation. It's all set up. All right, so that's set up to position of track lines. Now in division locations, we come into all calculation the Android settings. All right, the Android line center line location high centers opens all patterns. Patterns and line centers opens all communication center and center communications. That puts all communications setting, all track location, 3-man lines allocation of robots, androids, thimbots, high calculation settings in all positions of cyborgs, and line set location in its transistors as set location. Done by equation. All right. Energetic grass screens. Set a position of product line rotation surface and triangulation. 2 panels, line center line conditions, all levels. Bracket communications into all settings. Okay, so you got the hanger and position of bracket. Bracket calculation line centers, the triangulation reset position of program, sets line calculation setting, pyramid line rotation surface, all set line calculation line strips, center line communication setting, all levels of rotation. Setting position line conditions of platforms and 2 set location line centers. Calculation sun lines opens up the signal line and rotation surface in an upline angle and line rotation. Triangulation reset position of programs. Pyramid line calculation setting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 34, 40, 41, 72, 48 line rotation setting the track location of pyramids. Now in the double sequence pattern, that's a double panel, position of 2 pyramids in set location. Travel calculation line centers into elixir, into all serpent fire, and position locations to its serpent flame. Track lines calculation string lines, overlines signals on the cloud line rotation surface, triangulation resets of programs, and position traction. Track line center line interference comes in all position locations to a setting in all level rotation. Travel communication platitude line center line interference, puts position locations open up sequence. High calculation line settings, high line rotation surface in a capsule communication setting, the travel calculation. All right, done by equation. All right, so in position line condition, the coloration line streams, puts position locations in a calculation lines. Now you come into coloration line locations, code sign location of sonar. Sets location line indicates 1 line signature stream locations. Detection lines at 2 flywheels and line rotation, track location, done by equation. Set in position to its pi direction of time sequence, guys. Okay? All right. Waiting on signal, we set up locations on Monday line, center line interference, and travel calculation high position travel settings and all levels of operation surface. But the triangulation reset program line center is now set up. Okay. So once we get into that position locations, we come into the Infinity 8 line stream. Clocking line rotation centers has 4 line stream locations, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in sectors and vectors and quads, crossing signal into timestamp line stream location of setting. Tractors correlation line in rotation is all levels of 24, 48, and 72, and 144 sets position of provision. Center correlation settings of track lines opens up high calculation settings of streams. So that puts all levels of position line track lines. Platitude line crosses line calculation setting and point systems. Point system line calculations, right? So it's like leapfrogging in line condition of dimensional space line and stream location of setting attractions. Done by equation. All right. That's going to center off. Travel position line calculation settings in 1 line rotation, 2 lines of track, 3 lines of provision, 4 lines of center, calculation of 7 position locations, right? Then we come into Z-force, line rotation centers, track locations, alpha line settings, delta communication, waving line cycles, delta line rotations, and omega line surface into all levels of radius line stream locations, into high calculations, theta in the center line rotations, hemisync line calculations of both line, H line center, and 1 indicate high position of travel. Position of track lines has a calculation high interference of position of programs, directing line calculation setting to a formation of stream location. Now that puts position line condition of 7 over pi, redirects panels and line calculation setting projection and position of travel. Modification line center location comes into a tube line center and travel communication setting and 2 waving line cycle. Directing communication setting opens up levels and position location of sun lines and communication line centers of energy washes and set location of travel settings. Directing panel communication setting comes all calculation setting. Telepads line stream interference of triangulation resets the program location setting. Directing position location of center line communication setting into tube line rotation to center position to its operation. Center correlation setting of track lines high calculation setting to a Merkaba, tesseract, and a new tetrahedron line stream in line rotation of surface. Triangulation resurface location patterns comes into a position location of sun that opens up a signal line communication lines of a sonar, direction of time sequence location system, and a new travel line rotation surface and triangulation. Done by equation. Okay. So it's amazing when you actually look exactly what's coming into set location new settings and future adaptation locations, right? 3 million track lines and high center line location setting, 1900 clock line rotation centers of location system, eyes of the circle, eyes of the sun, eyes of the line rotation of eyes of Horus, indirect panels and high position of travel communication setting, indirect signal to panel communication, all right? Okay, modification lines of streamlines comes back in track location of center, okay? 2 waving lines of rotors and line communication settings, sonar line and rotations indicate high position locations of pi. Positions of 3, positions of 3, positions of 3. Sets location, triangulation, and reset position of programs. Line setting, line condition, high center interference, and position location of travel lines. High calculation, high position location to its pyramid of activation. Done by equation. All right, so that's going to center at position location, heart, mind, and soul, direction of time sequence. Pattern correlation settings of barometers. Pattern line rotations and 2 line valves. 2 central line communication, 2 activation line interference, and 2 line rotations, 2 panels communication of center. Directing communication line centers, high lines, high calculation setting in position to its operation. Fibonacci swirls and 3 line calculation setting, 3 line communications, and all line communication we have double helix. Double helix, H line center, high position location setting. Tractors correlation setting, the travel line position location, 2 lines. Operation service location, high center position of travel communications. High direct locations into a location grid. Location grid crosses string location of setting. Travel position location levels. Get position location higher self. Sets position to the avatar and 2 track locations into the sim. Line calculation setting. Travel position location line setting. High interference and position of new pyramid line stream. 4 to 2 streams. High calculation stream location. All levels of indication. Okay. Down by equation. All right. That's going to travel out. So in that line center, clock and line rotation centers. Okay, set position location, triangulation, reset position programs. 3 others and communication setting. Winding signals, line calculations of north, calculations of east, line conditions of south, and line calculations of west. Okay, west line centers, line interference of north, west line set location of north, sets locations of north, sets locations of north, sets positions of south, west, and set locations of west, east, and line calculations into metric streams of one line division, one rotation, one surface, and one location setting. That's 4 panels on one line rotation centers and 4 track locations and centers and traction. In position to its operation surface comes all correlation setting and tractions. Line setting, high lines, and high calculation setting to triangulation resets. Setting position, location, operation lines, and location system, and travel communications. All energetic domes, traveling lines, and location of 2 panels, a stream location. Directing line calculation of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 sets position travel lines. Energy wash comes in, location settings, 1 track location, 9 line centers, and 2 operation of zeros. Sets position energy wash. Covers the line communication of its dome and line position to its operation, done by equation. All right, so it's very powerful how you really set up the travel communication of center lines. It's incredible it has a connection to the settings all through operation surface, guys. Absolutely amazing, right? Okay, so travel timelines, high center inference. Now, the sections on position of the perimeters sets minutes on the calculation to its hours. The sequence correlation setting, the pattern correlation setting, and inference, because you guys have a calculation setting. So you have the weekend line position locations, right? Monday is location of the test. So the test is just based on everything that you already know. Okay, so it's remembering this, remembering that, understand the formula, understand the equation, right? So panel line rotations, center lines of 3 line rotations in position track lines, high calculation, 3 water line stream location settings and traction. Okay, mechanism lines of Fibonacci line streams, 3 line position location operation. Sets line calculation setting 2 consoles, 3 consoles, and 3 line rotation centers. Point, point, point indicates 2 line centers and 1 line rotation center. Travel communication setting, all levels, 0 line communication setting, travel position location of flux capacitor. Travel line center line condition of 0 operation, 0 correlation, and 0 position location triangulation. Sets position location high center interference in a diamond core. Direction of time sequence, 3 weather patterns, 3 indicate high center location of travel settings. Set location line centers, so we take the 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, and line rotation. Triangulation resets, bring the sun, bring the moon, line rotation, surface, and triangulation. Position location line calculation, satellite. Disk line communication lines, high calculation stream location, center line track location, system, and travel, done by equation. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, it's all set up. Modification, because the team line center location is now 3 million line streams. Bracket communication line center location of transistors equals line location of transformers, calculation lines of robots, calculation of androids, set line calculations in all level settings, cybergenetics, cyberkinetics, high calculation setting, molecule structures of 3-point systems, and travel communication is setting and traction. Okay. Now directing panels of pi, okay, position lines across line, crosses over, line set locations, center communication, sun comes in line setting in all levels in a 24 line graph location. The eye circle line centers of the eye of the center line communication of the sun sets projection over and over and over until it stands its future line stream and set division to its location. Okay, center track to its correlation center. So now we have to understand how to use the calculation setting to position location installed settings. Android communications, right? Closet calculation stream locations, calculation line stream interference, operation surface and set location. Triangulation line centers, a pi, direct locations, sonar, direct line position location of panels, flywheel, direct and high calculations, and 3 lines of communication. Direct and communication line centers and new grounds, new operation surface, and all set location setting. High lines, routers, line set location, the moon line, centers lines is communication to a magnetic line set location operation, done by equation. All right, so that's going to travel out. Secret's powered is position location line settings. So it's all over travel communications. Point system line settings. How can that be a point system, right? Well, it's a point system position location from A to Z in set locations, right? A to Z. So in position location, B is in the center, okay? B has to be balanced in line calculation setting to 2 scales in line rotation surface and triangulation, okay? Now, try to understand how this all works in communication. B line centers of C. C line connections all levels. Z lines rotates the surface location settings. Pattern correlation setting is sun and rotation surface triangulation. Okay, done by equation. Scales lines of high center interference. Position of all program location setting. Now your indicated line stream in the line of rotation is 3 Fibonacci line streams, 3 line communications, 2 panels, heart, mind, and soul. Directing communication platforms and 3 lines of communication and travel. Directing line calculation setting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels of communication. Directing communication line settings at all levels of track location. Point system and track location, center line, position, travel. Directing communication line centers, all levels of operation, surface, and a relines, reprogram, line set location, all setting of future adaptation. Done by equation. Powerful stuff, isn't it? Know exactly what you guys are getting into. And all set location of travel settings. Okay? All right, so that's going to wait on signal because we're going to modify high calculation stream locations on Monday. All right, so position is a track line. One signature panel, line centers high position to its operation service. Point system location line centers. And this is where we go from A, this is where you go from B, and this is where we go from D. A, B, D, right? So the atmosphere lines, the balance correlation setting of its dimension. Okay, center correlation setting to track lines. Pattern lines of 3-line rotation surface. Triangulates high centers at 2 disk lines of 3-line rotation centers. In track location system of an XD1000 line stream. Directing communication crosses line calculations of 1, 2, 3 panels communication. Directing platforms in 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, and 1 line rotation surface, and a reline position of program line rotation center in position location of future adaptation. Done by equation. All right, so all this is surfacing out because the platitudinal line is already in its remembering cycle. Position, location, track lines are becoming into the H-line center. H-line center communication, sending the attractions. 2 platforms have communications, right? You guys have to understand how to do these wave lines rotations. Sun and the moon comes in line rotation, center of communication, right? Crosses stream. Blocks rotation center, okay? So it's complicated when you actually look at it, but it's so dimensionally inclined with so many line stream locations and 3-dimensional door settings. Okay, it's a platform of communication, ground lines operation. See? There's a reason why I took perspective. So we take the H-line center to a new flux capacitor communication streamlines, directing panels in 1 stream location of line centers of 0 operation surface and a reline position location of center in a communication setting track location. Okay? Very complicated stuff, guys, but it's extremely powerful when you understand how this is all set through provision. There's application settings and attractions. All right? Directing lines. Sun crosses line streams and line rotation center. Sets position locations to all line rotations, surface, and triangulation. Okay? Done by equation. Very powerful stuff. Indicate high line interference of XD1000 comes in line rotation. Travis calculation lines. Zips, lines, cross lines, center, track location. Right? Center lines, travel lines, high center interference in position to its location. 3-line center. Done by equation. All right, so it's very powerful how you set things up through all levels of provision to center line communication setting attractions. Right? So remember, you're using the number line signals, and they know exactly what to do through track location of center. To understand how it works in all line rotations, surface, and triangulation, all levels of operations to its surface locations, 2 track line calculations, setting the travel lines. Now, in position locations, we have the center communications, right? And then we got the 3-line wires, 3-line rotation centers attractions, right? This opens up all positions of panels and line calculations, sending in-line centers on the high position to its operation, okay? Into all calculations to your new line screen line at high position location of travel, right? So we go in line calculation setting to your pyramid at that location. There it is. Done. See how it covers line string lines and high center interference on all levels of pyramids and projection line string lines and location grid line and rotation surface. So inline rotations, point system, point system, point system. Okay, higher self, avatar, sim. It's already there. 3 mainline track lines, high center interference, travel position location all levels. Let's open the pattern correlation setting. A in position of C, in position of Z, in position of D, in set location of travel. Okay, flywheel erection of time sequence puts patterns in position of travel communications. Point system of direction to its location. Okay, done by equation. Very complicated stuff. Okay, so we're going to resurface lines of the flywheel, represent time sequence, open all communication lines center locations of 1900 waves, line calculation, 1900 location, 1900 clock lines, and the sun communication streamline, a rainbow activation stream location, a graph line, communication setting attraction. Done by equation. Okay. All right. Getting in setting line high position locations, formula sets line calculation settings. So we've got waving line cycles, high traffic communications, right? So we got some alpha tones and we got some lacing correlations, set lines, and 3 lines of panels, position of sonar. Directing communication settings of the track lines, sets position locations at all levels, opens up 3-line communication settings, set position operation. Directing line calculation setting, panel position operation, panel line division, panel correlation setting, panel line and rotation, panel communication center and operation surface, into triangulation set location of theta. Theta communication line centers, ground lines operation, ground lines operation, ground lines operation of 3-line cycles. Set position of platforms and 3-line rotation surface and triangulation. Directing lines, XT1000 comes in, position travel lines. Scans position location into 1, 2, 3, set location travels. Now, getting in that setting line interference, the platforms and the communication changes the cerebral cortex of the sun and the moon that resurfaces position and travels correlation setting attractions, puts position of the patterns, all level line calculation line streams, sets up new cocoon line rotation centers and the 3 track lines of waves, alpha, delta, theta, beta, and omega, and 3-line rotation centers and track locations. Done by equation. All right. So that's signaling out. Now, bracket codes, records time sequence, line position to its operation surface, line signature lines, waving line rotation centers. Okay. Energy watch lines, 1 lines of 9, 0, 0, set position 2 patterns, 1 line set location, 1 line division, 1 line center, and 1 line connections, right? So we got 1 position, 2 track location, 3 line divisions, and 4 location settings. Track to its correlation setting, bounce line rotation surface, and magnetic highway information line set location at data codes and stream location. Directing communication line senses the blue line cycle, sets line calculation energetic waves, alpha line rotations, delta communications, omega line surface, and high position to its operation. Triangulation reset position program, center line position location to its operation line, set location setting, no location system, position of balance, bounce correlation setting, track location setting. All levels of funnel, communication line set as another ground line, surface line, position location to its high center location to its system, attraction. Track location setting, the high position locations comes into its intelligence. Operational line calculation setting, you guessed it, abundance of its bowl and set location. All right. So the generation lines of the cup in set location of center line comes into all position to its system in position of track lines. There it is. There's the cup. There's the abundance. There's the manifestation. All track to its location. Mega multipass. Okay, 3 million lines of square, triangulation surface, high position location line settings, 1900 stream location of centers, into abundance over location settings and all track location. All through measure, all through scale, all through balance. Okay, done by equation. All right, yes, you're welcome, Heather. And set location line centers. Now, getting position of cross lines is a 40-line rotation line setting. So that's 40-line graph, sets locations plus lines, sets 5-line position location centers, track to its correlation setting to the 5, 5, 5 positions of 6, 6, correlates to 2 6-line center locations and 2 panels. Directing communication line streams, sets line rotations in high calculation settings and high levels of graph location. Track to its correlation, 6 lines, 5 lines, 4 lines, 3 lines, 2 lines, 1 line center interference, 0 gravity line rotation, surface, and triangulation and reset position of programs. Directing communication line centers of waves, wires, correlation, tractions, computers, operation, calculations, modifications, all levels of operation application. Done by equation. All right. Sending the lines of graph lines, rainbow graph strain locations, crossing line signals comes into all position to your system through all track location of center in position to its operation. Okay, it's very complicated stuff, right? So all we do is reline the calculations of program settings and track location of waving lines, sets position locations, all levels, comes into the center line into Asgard and set location operation surface, Setting line communication as center of communication. Done by equation. Okay, energetic graph screen location settings, right? 3 million graph line calculations, sky grid lines, rotation surface. Triangulation resets, that's going to travel out. Point system line circles, 3 line center line into rotation, 3 line calculation setting, 1 line provision. Okay, sets position location travel lines. Okay, sets position location travel lines and point system location. Directing lines across line centers and high line center interference. Now the triangulation reset position of 3 operations center locations. Interaction. Point system, XT1000, 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 XT1000. 4 center line stream and set location line settings. Cross and stream, cross and stream, cross and stream, cross and stream. Sets position to a new timestamp, position location setting, attraction. Operation line, position of 2 panels of operation surface. Now we come to all calculation line settings and all line mechanism high position of travel communication setting to new Stargate panel and line rotation surface its application. So open signals of panel communication line centers. Point system here, and a 3 triangulation line surface, line rotation setting, calculation setting to an open sequence to a black hole line surface and high calculation stream location of center. Now directing communication center line calculation setting crosses line streams of 3 panels, coordination setting and track lines of 3 waves and set position to its operation. Center track lines, high center interference. The sun comes in, inline center line rotation of center, position track lines. Sets correlation XT1000, comes in and line calculation setting northeast line rotation. Sets position of travel lines at 0 line communication, 0 communication setting and travel communication. Done by equation. Right? So it's amazing how everything is set up position of travel, right? Okay, that travel settings. Now direction of time sequence. Platitude line, center line interference, position locations, all of the setting line interference locations. Sets location settings and tractions, right? Start with this location. Now we got 3 indicators and 3 line circles. Sets position location lines as 0 line rotation surface and triangulation of 1 line rotation and center position operation. Sets correlation and travel calculation near pyramid. Ooh, what's going on? Set lines of laser graph line stream location and 1 set provision to its location. Diamond set line calculation setting. Cross in positions, cross in positions, cross in positions, cross in positions, cross in positions. Okay? Cross in positions, cross in positions, cross in positions. Okay? Sets location of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line panels and line center location of center. Sets position location XT1000, line calculation stream location, 2 line centers and high center position. Operation surface, detect high center line, high centers. Opens all new graph line sonar communication center of operation surface and triangulation. Done by equation. All right, so in position location, that's also going to travel setting locations. 1 indicator line interference, alpha line rotations, delta wave communication, a theta line surface location, a center line. Position track news, correlation setting, track position to its operation service. 3 platform communication, setting to track communication settings, all levels of operation. 4 central communication line centers, and 1 position of 2, position of 3, position of 4. 4 lines of calculation equal lines of 3, equals lines of 7. 7 sets position, 7 track location, 7 line division, 7 line conditions. 4 panels of communication line streams, all right? Directing communication line centers and a 3 line waving line rotation surface and a new crop circle line rotation setting at 3 million line rotation centers and track location. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 elements of point systems and track location of 2 panels of operation location, all right? Platitude line centers. Now we travel positions out through equation at 2 line setting. It opens all platforms and new platform communication streamline, high calculation set line, high center interference, into realms of correlation setting and position of track lines and communication is all set. Setting track lines open all signals. High calculation line settings opens all panels, line center line interference of travel communication. Okay, very complicated stuff. See the dimensional wormhole, Jeps? See the pyramid in the center line communication? See the open panels and position location? See the alpha, delta, and theta line center line and position its operation service location as center? Done by equation. Okay. All right, so that's signaling out. Position to its location center operates the surface locations. 1 indicates line set location operation. Center line calculation line settings. Okay, crosses location system. Now you know where this is coming in. Center line calculates stream location of center in position to its operation surface. 3 set lines of clock lines, high center position to center position. Center correlation setting of track lines and communication, directing signals. 2 line center line interference and set location of your system and track locations. There's the intelligence. Boom, done. So Fibonacci line swirls, 2x3000s, modificates line center location, triangulation, and resets. Calculates line interference in position location, all settings. Travel position of travel settings. Rest in time sequence, travel communication. Okay, center position location operation, center lines, sets position location of center line communication. Right, there's the intelligence. Okay, that my equation. All right. Remember, there's always intelligence form lines, but you have to understand how to use your clock line stream locations because it indicates everything through program. Okay, so it's important you understand how to use the bracket communication lines of 0 line communication, setting line interference, and 1 line rotation. So the track location comes in a high setting. Okay, it's very complicated stuff what I'm doing here. Okay, so it's really understand the waving patterns and 2 line signals and high line interference, 3 Fibonacci line swirls and set location of travel set location line sends a high position to its operation, indirect signal. 1 indicates line strain. 2 indicates line set locations into new ground line surface and set position to its operation. Okay, so very high division line calculations, right? AI detects the point system location centers, right? Constant correlation setting crosses over line set locations in position location at 3 set line conditions of center. Track this correlation setting crosses line center locations at 3 line conditions of power. Crosses line center appearance in a full circle line rotation setting position track lines. Crosses line center location at ground lines operational location system and a 48 into a 72 and into 144 track location of center. Done by equation, right? That's waiting on panels, waiting on signal, and 2 operation service locations. Okay. All right, so we're going to wait on that signal. All right, so in position location, we go back through equation. Okay. Setting position of track lines opens all line centers. So the sun position location comes in line signal. Modification lines of the XC1000 sets position of center communications. Sets track location lines at 3 line rotation, 3 line communication, 3 line positions. Operations to location all settings. Now we got a 0 graph, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, 5 line, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1 line rotations. Then we got a 0 line, 1 line, 2 line, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the set location lines of space and time. Track location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and set locations on one side. Setting track location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the other side locations. Done by equation. Measures and correlations of 2 panels and line streams. Sets location centers on all levels of operation surface. Done by equation. It's all set up now. Okay. All right. Does everybody understand what's going on? Perfection. All right. That's why I want you guys to understand when you get into that provision, you start creating things through formula of equation of travel. This is all through letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols through formula of equation. That's what you need to get into. Look how powerful that is. Okay. Set positions. Look how powerful that is. Sets positions. Look how powerful that is. Set positions. Okay. So that's why I want you to really understand that and set location of what's going on through your provisions. All right. So taking you out of the equation lines of the sun, you guys are out. Have fun. That position track lines. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Now we get indicate line interference. We got 2 panels and position location of track. Okay. 0 correlation setting and track communication. Point system, point system. All right. So that's 1 line signal, 1 line operation, point system locations. All right. So we all have to understand how to use the lacing line correlation setting to track lines and high center interference and center position to its operation surface to a pyramid line communication setting attraction. Okay. So when we come into that line interference, we come into all calculations, travel position to travel settings. Calculation high interference to diamond core, shift lines, box lines, calculation stream location line centers of 2 indication. Sets position location of levels, waving line centers, waving line centers, waving line center location. Okay. Now, getting that position lines is center line communication opens up all signals modification. Okay. Now, we understand how to use a new line, ground line, surface line, position location, travel lines, and center position towards operation. Okay. So that's done. Okay. So we had a 10 signal line calculation setting, 10 line calculation line conditions of 10, 10 equals line conditions of 10. So 10 lines have passed, 10 position locations, all levels are present. Calculation high center of the future. Future comes back in the center line calculation setting. Change the program location line interference. Change position of past. Outline calculation streamlines. Outline condition of present line. Sets travel communication of point systems all over the pyramid activation stream locations. Pyramid activation streamline connection high center interference. Zero gravity line rotation surface. Point system. 10 lines calculation of 12. Line condition of 12. 12 position locations. 12 line standards of power. Line direction of timelines. 3 line calculation setting. Travel position location line center interference. Travel position location operation service. Location and center travel. Down by equation. Okay. The mechanism high center line conditions all settings is all set up position location of parameters, right? So the center correlation setting to 114 now, okay, is in position of solar generators and streams. Jeffs, this is where you come in. Travel correlation center into track lines. 4 line positions, 4 line centers, 4 line rotations, 4 line surface. Point system line directions. Now in that point direction, so you have come in this correlation center interactions and point system location. Travel calculation line interference, another line rotation, surface travel position location of 4 line settings, 2 line track locations. Set a position of 4 line circles, set location of 2 patterns. Now, understand how to travel lines and set lines in communication setting. A 3-track location setting is all about understanding how to bring in the sun and the moon to all position location and projection to all levels of rotation. Travel correlations and track lines. So it puts a position location of 114 and position locations. Okay, equal line calculation setting box, triangulation line set location like high calculation stream like Fibonacci line swirls, Fibonacci line swirls, Fibonacci line swirls, and Fibonacci line swirls. All right, because there's 4 lines of north line, east lines, west and south, 3, 3, 3, 3. It's all set up through location setting attraction. That's my equation. All right, that's it. We're done. So. All right. So everything that's set up is now set up in this location. 3 million line streams. Okay. Clock and line center, high position to your operation service locations. Put you in a 4 generation streamline calculation setting, right? Into your 114. So that's 114 of solar streamlines is that position to your panels. That puts position location of security lines, parameters and new line cycles calculation stream location setting. Third track location, right? So there's a reason why we put up formulas and equations so you understand how to go through the minor travel through all calculation of sectors, vectors, and quads, and position location of universal clock lines and future adaptation locations of the now settings. Okay? All right. So it's almost 9 o'clock. Line center and high interference, line position locations, 8 line streamlines, 4 generation stream location settings, solar panel communication stream locations, methodical line interference, and track location of 6 lines, sets position to its operation surface. So the bracket communication line centers of 0, 0, position to its operation 0, 0, correlation setting of 4 line rotation centers. Track to correlation setting 4 track lines, 4 line rotation position. Operation server location comes into a new pyramid line stream location of center. Track to position of 0 line communication, 0 line sets position to its operation lines. Directing communications, all crossing streams, and all levels of travel position location to its operation surface and triangulation. Okay, now it's done in set locations. Plat 2 line streams, point systems, point systems, point systems, setting line correlation setting, and balance line rotation surface and triangulation. So I hope you guys had fun. All right. I will see you guys later. And look at that. Position locations, all levels, high settings. Coming into all calculations of diamonds. 111. Set position locations, all centers, and track locations. Interesting phenomenon when you come into that position locations operation. So everybody enjoy the day. Have a great weekend. Monday is the test. Adios. Yeah.